Okay, I think we just begun. I want to welcome to our Tuesday at 2, Jamie Brenkis, the infamous, the legendary, the leader in our fitness industry, and of course, the creator of 8-Minute Abs and the 8 Minutes Workout. Jamie, thank you so much for coming and joining us today.
Dr. Gupta, it is a pleasure. I just paid him $20 to say all that good stuff.
Oh my God.
It's been a great journey. It's been a great journey of helping people, and I'll tell you, it's funny. We're talking today about health and fitness, and we got a lot of work to do out there because there's a lot of people who need our. And it's funny. I when you sent me your book, and people have to tell you, if you own a gym, this is a Bible. Health Club to Health Care. And, it's funny because, people look at, doctors and medicine, but it's intertwining now. And there's no doubt this combination, this synergistic effect has to take place. And, we want to do it the right way. And I always tell people, he who has no time for his health today will have no health for his time tomorrow. So people pick up the book, number one, but two, you have to take care of your health. And that's why I think, we're talking about, what we've done and helped. We've helped millions of people in the past and lose millions of pounds and inches. And it's very gratifying, as you know.
Oh, it's great. Yes. And I was just speaking with Jamie, telling him I was one of those people who've lost a lot of weight and changed my life through diet and exercise. And it's really the reason why I do what I do. But today we're actually here to talk about your book. If you want to move, putting the boom back in boomers. And I think the title, the book, this is a home run. And of course, you wrote it with my good friend and yours, Elaine Delane. I know, we've spoken at length about what a tremendous individual Elaine is. She and Jack, they are the pioneers in the fitness industry. My webinar with her a couple of weeks ago was just, I was smitten. I rewatched it. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was just like blushing. I was just so honored to be on the phone with her as I am with you. I know she, Jack was a major inspiration for you as well.
Oh my gosh. I have to tell you, he was an iconic figure and really, truly, Dr. Gupta, without him, I wouldn't have a career. And like many health and fitness professionals, he was a visionary and he was so far advanced. He's doing things in the 30s and 40s, which, people wouldn't have even thought of. And he was considered, this guy's crazy, his health nut. And now it's second nature to us. And so certainly it was an honor writing a book with Elaine Delane. What a legacy, the Delane legacy. And it was done in the philosophy and spirit of Jack. And, Jack to me resonated because he was the voice of reason. Yeah. And all through his life, and he lived the lifestyle. And you talked about how you lost your weight, and Jack had a great saying, and he said, if exercise is king, nutrition is queen. You put them together, you get a kingdom. Yes. And you have to have both elements. And I tell you, even in my programs, I always tell people that your best piece of fitness equipment is your fork and spoon, right? This two weapons of mass expansion can do a lot of damage, and so you need the dual effect. Without, the biggest thing is you don't want to disrupt somebody's lifestyle. You want to change their lifestyle without disrupting it, throwing it, 360 degrees. And there's an art to that. And I really think, even in the book, I have to tell you, when Elaine and I first collaborated, and it's funny because I called her up and I just, out of the clear blue, I said, I'm going to give the Elaine family just a call just to see. And she answered the phone. She said, I never answer this phone, honey. What would you like? And I said, here, I've got this idea, Elaine. I'm 58 years old. I want to put a book together, putting the boom to boomers, right? And she said, I love the title. Get with my agent. Let's write this thing. And God bless her. At 93, she's effervescent. She's full of life. And she's a model to us all. And that's what we're talking about. And we're talking about, renew and reshape and refuel. And that idea of you've got to think a little differently these days, and, a little bit of exercise, nutrition proper without going on fad diets. Because remember, we talked about it. If you go on a diet, it means you're going to go off a diet. We don't want you to do that. We want to change your life, but do it in the right way. And that's what it's about. It's nutrition and it's exercise, but doing it in a way that's timely. Yeah. And that's certainly realistic. And that's what I was telling people. I said, our programs, they always say, well, what's your program like? It's a realistic program for real people who have real jobs, real families, real schedules, but want real results. So let's get real out there.
That's great. So, Jamie, how did you come up with 8-minute abs and the 8-minute workout?
Good. That's a great question. Well, I think the biggest thing at that time, you're going back to 1994-ish at that point, so we're dating ourselves here. It's a long time ago. It was 26 years ago. But the bottom line is that everything was about 60 minutes long. Jane Fonda tapes, and there was a few other videos out there, but everything was 60 minutes. And so we thought, all right, this is not working because the majority of the people weren't doing anything. And so we said, well, let's just do bits and pieces. Exercise is cumulative. And I've been certified through American College of Sports Medicine for the last, since 1988. And after a while, ACSM said, well, okay, exercise is accumulative. A little bit here, a little bit there, it all adds up. And so this idea of putting just 8 minutes, we said, well, there's 1,440 minutes in a day. We could use 10, we could use 6, but 8 just sounded right. It just flowed off your mouth. So we come up with 8-minute abs, 8-minute buns, 8-minute legs, arms, and we did stretching. And so these 5 tapes, literally at that time, VHS tapes went crazy. It went national. It resonated with people because the biggest factor why people do nothing is time. Yeah. And I was trying to throw that excuse out the door. You have time. I mean, think about your daily schedule. From morning to lunch, what's your daily schedule? From lunch to dinner, what's your schedule? From dinner to evening. If you can't put in 8 minutes, well, then something's wrong here.
Well, you know what? You had mentioned to me when we had first spoken several weeks ago, and you talked about your 3 things that you do every morning, your routine. And then after hearing that, it makes sense to me how you came up with 8-minute abs or 8-minute workout. And I think, the way you spoke about it and the cumulative exercise over time, it made. What are the 3 things that you do every morning, Jamie?
Well, I swear, nothing novel, but it's just the idea of the dedication and determination and discipline that somebody needs to do this. And I said, okay, I'm going to pare this down to simplicity. The bottom line is every day when I get up, okay, and I've been doing this for probably 20 years, I do 50 push-ups. Now, if you're just starting out, do 20 just for sake of today, okay? You don't even have to get on the ground. You can do them on the wall, okay? Wall push-ups.
True.
But think about this. You do them every day times 30 days. Oh my gosh, that's 600 push-ups, okay? I do 25 squats, all right? You do that every day, that's 750 squats during the course of a month. Then I do a plank for the core, right? I do 30 minutes, 1 minute, but times 30 days, you get 30 minutes of getting a slimmer, trimmer, tighter waistline, which everybody wants. And so it's just these 3 elements. But Dr. Gupta, what's more important, it starts your day off right. It puts you in a great frame of mind. We talked about endorphins.
Right.
The idea you're doing it where it's empowering because now you can do it. You started the day off right, and I got to tell you, it does add up. And people just think you don't have to torture your body for your body to respond. And I think that's where people have a mistake. And we talk about the P90Xs, the CrossFits out there. Yes. Great programs, don't get me wrong, but they're not for everybody. And especially when you get to be a certain age. Now, I'm 58 years old. So there's a lot of us baby boomers out there that can't, jump up and down and go crazy and insanity, if you will. Right. And so we try to pare it down to some basic, components of fitness. There's cardio, there's resistance, there's flexibility. And we change that body's composition, right? And so we go from fat to fit by focusing on a little bit of nutrition and, of course, being consistent because consistency beats intensity any day of the week. And if you're deconditioned, just starting off with 8 minutes is fantastic. Remember, 1,440 minutes in a day. If I start you off with 8, if you have more time, you can do a double 8 or a triple 8. That means 16 minutes, 24, but you need that hook to get going. And that way you get that empowerment and positive thinking moving forward. And it's not disrupting your lifestyle because you have 8 minutes.
Right. I love the idea of just getting people and empowering the entry-level exercise goer to say that you can do it. And you do have 8 minutes because, like you said, the biggest objection is always time. But everybody's got 8 minutes. And you know what? I don't think that you intended for everyone just to have an 8-minute workout. But if you have to start there, that's okay. Build up some confidence. And then I think you find yourself all of a sudden doing 10, maybe 12, then 16, and then 24.
Dr. Gupta, correct. And I got to tell you, though, when it comes to exercise, more is not better. Better is better. And I got to tell you, when you reach a certain age, and this is pure physics, strength training is really important, okay? And most people say, well, I don't want to, be this hairy grunting muscle of tissue in the gym. You don't have to be. Use your own body's resistance. Use mom's tomato paste or resistance bands, small handheld weights. You don't even have to go to a place, but you need to do something with resistance. When you put that lean muscle tissue on, you get the afterburn. And that's the key, especially when you age, because we are losing lean muscle tissue as nature. Mother Nature's pushing that metabolism back. We need to rev it up again by putting on lean muscle. And it doesn't take a lot to have an overload principle, right? So that's the thing. More isn't better. Better is better. Most focus on the muscle tissue. That's the key, especially as we age.
Yeah, and I love that you said changing people's lives without disrupting their lives. And if you come up with that formula, that is what people need. And that's how people start to implement. And it's the disruption of their lives that prevents them from going back.
Oh my gosh, think about it. If somebody tells somebody who's deconditioned and they haven't worked out in 30 years, and they say, okay, you need to spend an hour a day in the gym doing fitness. Right. Okay, well, that's not going to happen, okay? Or they tell them, okay, guess what? You need to eat celery sticks and carrot sticks, for 5 months, or get on a 500-calorie day diet.
Right.
Who wants to do that? That's not realistic, and it's very short-lived. We want to do something that's long-term and has results that are quantifiable, as well as the idea that you're going to feel good. Because when somebody's on a 500-calorie diet a day, they can't exercise, they can't move, they got no energy. Food is fuel. And the thing is, you want to fuel your body, don't fool your body. So remember that.
I love it. Yeah. And when I tuned in and I was watching your 8-minute workouts, they are awesome. I got to tell you, as a doc and a background in physical therapy and rehab, I love them because you know what? You weren't stressing the body to the point where you might injure yourself, like some of the higher intensity workouts, the P90X, the Insanity you had mentioned, the CrossFit. They're tough and they're hard on the body. And like you said, they're not for everybody. Your exercises, your 8-minute workouts, Jamie, they are for everybody. And I got to tell you, you hit every muscle group. And then you're sure to even have an 8-minute workout that hits all muscle groups. And I think it's just, I'm going to tell you what I love most about your 8-minute workouts was the big, huge clock in the background. And I love it. It's a reminder, man. I'm like, look, that clock is so big that it's the first thing and almost only thing you see outside of you, which is perfect because you know what? And I know why you did it. You can watch those 8 minutes. You can see it's just 8
right. It's in real time. It's in real time, so you can see it just tick-tock away. And it's funny because even when we did 8-minute abs, it was a countdown. It was a countdown. You go from 8 minutes down to 6 to 5, and you knew, okay, I only have 4 more minutes left. I can do this. It was very empowering and positive. But you hit it on the nose. That's why you put that big clock so you can't miss it. And you're like, all right, this guy's going through this, and it is literally 8 minutes. And so that's great. No, I appreciate that. But it's that fusion of constant movement and resistance. And Lelaine and I talked about that. We said, that's what most people want. They want to hit their cardiovascular system. They want to get their strength training up. They want to have some flexibility and agility and balance, especially as we age. And so you throw all these things and having nothing to do with nothing's contradiction to exercise as far as there's a lot of things out there, of course, jumping around. And like we said, we don't do that. And I don't believe in that. I've never done that. And so I only know what I know. And when you go back to Jack was on TV for 30 plus years. And his exercises were so simple. He had a chair, a towel, and a dog. And he did it.
Yes.
And people connected. They connected, and he resonated with that because you felt like you were right there with him. And I hope that I'm dispelling that and disseminating that type of energy to the audience. And I know, I've got to tell you, it's funny. Somebody put our 8-minute abs videos up on YouTube, and this is a few years back. And Dr. Gupta, it's amazing because I didn't know about YouTube back then. But there were 70 million views. So people were watching this stuff and they're saying, okay, well, this makes sense. And it is the people that are just starting out, the deconditioned. So if you're just starting out, you want to just do something in increments. And then when you start getting the confidence to build yourself up, well, then go and do more minutes, go to the gym. But the bottom line is you have to start somewhere. And that's the only thing we can tell you because most people don't do anything. And so Jack's line, and that was the title of that book, if you want to live, move is Jack LaLanne's line. And I've got to tell you, that makes so much sense to me. And it's ageless. It's ageless energy, and that's what we're talking about.
Is getting fit never gets old, and I love that.
Getting fit never gets old. Truly.
Another saying you have mentioned to me, like, you're full of them, man, and they're all so motivational. It's about time.
Oh my gosh, well, it is, and I think most people, again, they can think of a million things to do besides exercise. And we know it's funny because, exercise gives you more energy. So if you're not having any energy, there's a reason. You need to get up. You need to move. Your body's meant to move. That's and right. So it's all about time. And then we said, okay, well, geez, let's put this down into a time factor and say there's no excuses. Okay. And so that's the element of the 8 minutes. Okay. And like we said, 8 minutes a day and you're on your way. And that's what we're here to.
So tell me more about this awesome book, which, by the way, I read as well. I read it when Elaine sent it to me. She was so kind that she endorsed the book for me.
Right.
I am just totally smitten. And I love the book because it's so straightforward, Jamie. And it's meant to keep you engaged, and it got me engaged from page one. And it talks a lot about not just exercise, but diet and fueling your body properly. And there's pictures in here of Jack. I love it.
Yes. Can't beat that, right? Going retro.
I saw some pictures of, there's some pictures of here of you, looking pretty good.
Yeah, for an old guy.
You are definitely doing something right. You look like the fountain of youth.
Oh gosh, well, I appreciate that. And I'm going to tell you though, those three elements that we said, it's renew, which is the idea of changing and shifting your mindset a little, not crazy, not going through a diet mentality, but a lifestyle mentality. The idea of reshaping, the idea of refueling is so important. So those three elements are in the book, and the idea that, to me, when you listen to Elaine, who again is 93, God bless her, and she's full of energy, and she's lived a lifestyle of this healthy nutrition and healthy way of life living. The bottom line is this: when you put those elements together, to me, it's borrowed wisdom. So you're looking at borrowed wisdom from people who have done this. And again, me being 58, I'm not 28 anymore. So, but I still feel 28. And I know when you're a baby boomer and those people who are in that age group, 1946 to 1964, you want to live longer, you want to look younger, and you want to feel better. So Dr. Gupta, those three elements we tried to encapsulate into the book and say, okay, we need to pare them down to three things. And it is renew, reshape, refuel. And if you do that without disrupting somebody's lifestyle, you've hit a home run. And I think that's the thing with Elaine. I mean, God bless her. I have to tell you, she was editing this book, and there were so many changes that she made because she wanted to fine tune this. And that wisdom, that's worth $1 million to somebody. Really, truly it is. And I know that we'll help millions of people with this, but doing it the right way. There's no physician, there's no organization that come back and say, oh gosh, this is not the right way to do this. It's all true to our heart. Even the portion control idea is, we're saying, hey, get handy, right? Use your hand as the portion device. It's 3 ounces, fits in the palm of your hand. A cup of vegetables, it's your both hands. Fat is the size of your thumb. So it's just these simplicity aspects and elements that you can do. And again, it's not going to throw your life in a 360, tailspin. And that's why I think it will work. And we know it's worked for Elaine for 93 years. So at me, 50 years, so a lot of years.
Great. So where can we find the book? Where can those out there go and get a copy of this book? It's a must for anyone 50 or older. It's a must for anyone who wants to just work out and keep some simple exercises to do on a daily basis. For life, learn how to eat properly. Like, again, rules of thumb. Like you make it very, very simple, the two of you, and it's great because again, it's about keeping people engaged and making sure that they stay on a program with consistency. I love the fact that you're talking about 50 push-ups a day. It's 1,500 push-ups a month, and so they add up, and just the consistency of doing what you can little by little, it adds up. So where can they get the book?
So we put it on the ebook version is on Amazon, and then you can get my also my workouts on 8minuteworkouts.com. The book is on there as well, and an actual physical book. And then, of course, even at Elaine's, it's shoplelaine.com.
Yeah.
But those are all ways you can get the book. And I got to tell you, though, I'm so proud to be a part of the Elaine legacy from a standpoint of writing a book with Elaine and with the spirit of Jack, throughout the book. And it's got a lot of his quips and his quotes, and it's really actually it's some of it's quite comical. And he's got a great line. He said, "Hey, if you get up in the morning, you have a cigarette, coffee, and a donut. You wouldn't give that to your dog, would you? Hell, the dog would die. You don't want to do that to yourself, So why would you do that? So eat healthy. He was full of those one-liners, and they're great, and they're all strewn throughout the book. So it's got a lot of life to it.
So you very much remind me of Jack LaLanne, the modern day Jack LaLanne. Did you ever meet Jack?
I did. I have to tell you, Dr. Gupta, it was the greatest thing. Denise Austin, who is another fitness professional, introduced us at a Chicago event. And Jack, hey, like myself, I'm fun sized, right? I'm not 6'3", okay? So I'm, 5'7" at that, right? So Jack was probably about 5'4" at that time, and he was 90. I think he was 91 or 92. God bless him. And he comes up and she goes, Denise says, "Okay, hey Jack, this is the 8-minute abs guy." Now here's Jack, 91 years old. He gets me in a headlock and does a noogie on my head. He goes, "That's what's wrong with you guys. You only think there's only one body part." And we got a chuckle. Elaine was behind him, and it was funny because here's my idol getting me in a headlock, and we had a good laugh about it. And he certainly congratulated me on helping people and certainly infusing the idea of a healthy lifestyle to as many people and doing it the right way. And I don't believe in pills, powders, crazy snake oil potions. I believe in the real thing, and just like you, Dr. Gupta. And there's something to say about that honesty and that approach. There's a lot of hypesters and hucksters out there and charlatans. I'd rather be honest, and we know what works and we know what doesn't. And going on, short-term diets and trying to, torture yourself in gymnasiums doesn't work long-term. Okay. So we want to do it right. And, I tell you, I just think, success in life isn't a matter of inches or pounds. Success is when you start taking that first step towards a reachable goal. And if your goal this year is to get in the best shape of your life, you need to do a couple things. You need to eat properly. You need to certainly exercise a little, okay, and to have this continuity. But also you need to rethink how you think of exercise and nutrition, okay? No diets and no killing yourself in a gym, and you will succeed.
It's your attitude. So that's lean. You just gave us lean there.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Lean, that acronym is I've had that business for, probably 8 or 9 years. LEAN is lifestyle, exercise, attitude, and nutrition. You put those 4 elements together, and Dr. Gupta, you can't go wrong. And that's the 4 elements that I have to tell you, are not only in the book, but the idea that you can live that lifestyle, the one you want, to empower yourself and get yourself healthy on the right path. And I don't care if you're 8 or 88, those elements don't change. And so you can start today. So if you're deconditioned, you're listening to this, start today, okay? Because you have one life to live. You got to do it.
Oh, man, you are a legend. I am so honored. I tell you, we were joking when we first spoke that I just watched Something About Mary again this weekend. This guy
what a great line that was.
In the car, and he says, "I'm gonna, the 8-minute abs guy. I'm doing 6-minute abs."
It'll never work. I met that comedian. He's the funny. Harlan Williams is the comedian. He ad-libbed that whole line. And Ben Stiller didn't know it was coming, and it was great. It's really, it was an honor to be spoofed.
That's how famous you are, and your creation, and how much of an impact that you've had on our culture. So I know that Jack is and Elaine, they're your mentors, and you look up to them. But I think there's plenty in the industry, including myself, who look up to you much the same way. I can't thank you enough for joining us today. And you know what? The one thing that I wanted to bring up that we didn't speak about is that you had mentioned once that one of the most motivating things or funny things that Jack had said in his one-liners was that he couldn't die because
it was bad for his image. It's the line of all time. It was wonderful. And he lived that life up to 96. I mean, it was just tremendous. And,
amazing.
That's why it's an honor to be in that that legacy, and the way the way that the cover is, it was great because you see Jack in the background, and his spirit is encapsulating the whole program, and nobody can refute Jack LaLanne, that's for sure.
He was a guy that had a lot of passion, and that's what I see in you, Jamie. Just a passion for health and wellness and fitness and our culture and our people, getting everyone health and losing weight and in shape and eating right. And God bless you, man. Thanks for all your hard work for us. And
appreciate it. No, thank you.
And
do it.
Go to Jamie's website for the book, 8-Minute Workouts, and you can check out 8-Minute Workouts there, and look up Jamie and support this man because he's a leader in our industry, and he's helping us all find the way. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Jamie. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.